Okay, there. Sorry. I deleted the questions on accident.
Alright guys, welcome to a video. It's going to be a Q&A. All questions I have not seen. And she is written. She wrote it. And this is Riley. Yeah, so these are questions that she made up that I had nothing to do with. Video in the future, hopefully we can get questions that you males and females and gender hybrids want to ask. So, whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Hybrids like Priuses.
Stop.
Like a little gas, a little electric. You can get plugged up with oil.
Don't call them gender hybrids.
I'm talking about Priuses. Let's get started.
Alright, I have 5. There's some deep questions. Are you ready?
I'm not a deep person.
Yes, you are.
Just get her ear.
Are you ready?
It's 420.
Okay. Alright.
Oh, those are good ones. I didn't bake. I can't
Okay.
read it anyways.
Question number 1. Who do you feel you owe an apology to?
Me, Madre.
Why?
Why? That's 2 questions.
There's follow-up questions.
Jesus, this was be fun. Why do I owe an apology to my mom? Because I was a stinky little contradicting, impulsive, unapologetic fat bitch growing up. And that wasn't nice. And she was always the last person I would see before I went to bed, so she would get the kind of what Taylor has to deal with, the good and the bad, and she had to deal a lot with the rash confusion of anger that I had built up, and I didn't know what to do, so I would just talk back to her, and I was mean to her, and I, to this day, still haven't fully apologized because I feel guilty for mean things I might have said to her, and times that I made her cry, even though she didn't deserve it. I think we all struggle with that, especially with our moms, because moms are unconditionally loving, and you know that, so even when they're mean, you still know that they did feed you as a little baby. Even though you know fathers may be mean to you, but they never sacrificed literally their life and almost bled out in the hospital bed for you to breathe again. Sorry, keep it PG.
That's a good answer.
Who would you apologize to?
Me? Riley?
You can answer.
No.
Okay.
These are your questions.
If you guys want me to do a video for, God, dude, my nipple, I have gyno, so it's like, I just sag everywhere.
Stop, this is a serious video.
I'm a serious guy.
Ready? I think this one's easier.
That one wasn't hard.
Okay, well.
It was a 3-letter answer.
What assumptions do you think people make about you, and which ones bother you the most?
I think people first think when they first meet me, they think I am, well, it all depends, because I change by the year. So, like, 6 months ago when I was 240, 250, I think they thought I was just dumb, and I wasn't, like, intelligent, and I was, kind of just taking up space. And I think now when I'm in this shape, I think people just think I am just rude to people, and I'm very stuck in my ways, and I'm not open to other walks of earth, walks of people, even though I think I'm one of the most open people that I think you could ever really meet. Like, I struggle sometimes with even accepting reality as it is right now. So for someone to come up to me and say anything that's semi-ridiculous, I'm the last person to shut it down. Ones that bother me the most are probably, like I said, that I have my shit together when I'm in this shape. I hate when people think I have my shit together, because I think I'm probably the farthest from that. And I don't think anybody, I think the people who think they have this shit together are probably the people who are closest to having a stroke. I don't think you can have it. There's a great book and a great quote by a gentleman named Jordan Peterson. He says, life isn't about happiness. Life is about chaos and hoping for moments of happiness and embracing them. So I think life is absolute chaos. Like, if you think about what we do, like what this is, dude, the fact that we can even live while there's fucking 2-ton elephants in Africa and fucking mountain lions that could rip us apart at any moment. It's pretty impressive. So I hate when people think that I have my shit together at the end of the day, because, dude, I don't even shit every day. So I don't have my shit together.
Yes, you do. You shit like 3 times.
Yeah, I hate when people think that. Also, I hate when people think I'm lazy when I'm really fat. Because I'm not. I am really lazy. That's why I'm fat. But, like, it's not. No, I think I hate it because it's true.
You're not lazy.
That's probably, well, when I'm really fat, I don't think people. I mean, that's not true.
I don't even think you're lazy. I think you think you're lazy when you're fat. But you do, like, tons of stuff. You know, like, just because you're fat doesn't mean you're lazy.
Yeah.
You do everything. You just have an eating problem.
I think I hate it that people think fat people are lazy.
Yeah.
Because that's not true. Even though, like, I think that too, so. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. Yeah, I hate that when people think that. Like, even now with, like, the clothing brand growing and, you know, whatever, the people reaching out, whatever it is, you know, family members saying, hey man, like, you're changing my life, and many other people's, like, that's kind of, like, bittersweet. That's, like, not what I wanted, because that's not, because I don't have my shit together. And it's not that I'm faking it, I just think I'm very, whatever's in my head is out there, and then I just kind of deal with the ramifications, where I think with most people, they pre-think about the ramifications. I don't do that. I just deal with the ramifications, and, like, hopefully I get through them. Something I've been trying to slow down on.
Sounds about right. Alright. Okay, I don't really have a good way to, like, phrase this. It's kind of ambiguous, but...
I don't know what that means.
Ambiguous means, like, hi, vague. Like, vague.
I forgot to hit record.
Like, take it your own way. Shut up. Okay. What's one thing that happened to you or that happened in your life that largely determined either, like, who you are or your morals or the path you chose in life? Like, if that thing hadn't happened, you would be a completely different person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the first time if that hadn't happened, so the first moment I was 16 years old, and I was sitting down, and I was in some class, but I was on my phone and I was searching up things, and I ran across something called the PayPal Mafia. And essentially the PayPal Mafia is, it's like everybody who was a founder of PayPal went off and created billion-dollar industries. And it led me to a gentleman who was born in South Africa by the name of Elon Musk. And I remember literally sitting in class just enthralled into this gentleman who, I mean, wanted to explore space, wanted to drive cars off electric, and this was 2012, so this was laughing stock. And I remember reading this, and I remember watching an interview where someone asked him, how do you feel about, like, your inspirations, like Neil Armstrong saying you're wasting your time. And I remember watching, because, you know, most of the time you're like people who are, I guess at the time he wasn't, but now he is kind of like a superstar. He's a celebrity, but, like, you never really see celebrities, like, get emotional and cry. And I remember watching this interview where the lady was like, how do you feel about, like, Neil Armstrong, someone you look up to, saying what you're doing is a waste of time? And he literally cried, and he was like, breaks my heart. And I remember watching that literally, and then my mind went from, like, holy shit. And just, it went to, like, even if you have an idea that's something that's absolutely insane, even the people who, like, even like a LeBron James or anybody who you think is at the top of the game, they still won't understand like what you're doing and why you're doing it. And now Elon Musk has, 3 of the biggest companies ever. And I don't know, that was like one of the moments where I was like, holy shit, like you can literally do whatever you want. And you can do anything, even if it has great morals, but people are still not gonna support you. And then the other time, I remember I was going to the Baltimore Orioles game when I was like 9 years old, and I was like deep into faith. Like I was in Bible school, and I remember walking by this guy, and he was homeless, and I remember asking my dad, I was like, why is he homeless? Why isn't God helping him? And my dad didn't have like a direct answer. And I remember that moment because, like, it really made me think, like, not like about like being against religion, but really opening the other part of the world where it wasn't all like butterflies and rainbows. And then I remember the first time I saw a homeless person, it was literally the first time I ever saw a homeless person, and I was 9. And then I just started seeing them all the time, and it was kind of like one of those moments where it's like, you don't know the world you don't know the world at all if you're constantly like brought up in like a zoo. Like, and it really made me question, like, that's when I started questioning religion. I started questioning what was actually me. Like, what is actually you? Is it the person that your parents put into you? Or is it, like, I mean, none of us are actually us. Like, none of us have free speech. We're all just kind of, like, products. Like,
Sorry.
We're all just kind of, like, products of what we're taught. And it was really, because my dad didn't have an answer. I was like, why didn't God help him? And meanwhile, because A, he had a drug addiction, or B, he got tired of society, so he just kind of left it. But those 2 moments were like really eye-opening for me. And also the moment where I think you broke up with me, I think that moment really opened my eyes, because it was like, holy shit, like I've always been the person who was like, it's gonna work out, it's gonna work out, it's gonna work out, and like, that's just not true. Like, it doesn't always just work out, especially if one party's not making an effort to make anything work out. Like, it's so much easier to say it's going to work out than actually making it work out. It's so much easier to sound like the good person instead of actually going through hell to become a good person. Because you really gotta look at the ugly side of you. And I did. And I think a lot of people don't. And I think that's something that I think that's a cause for a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. Is like, we all know what it is. We all know we're going to die. We all know that we are made up of much more negative than positive, but we just can't fathom the idea that we might really have trouble on something, because everyone says, you're a good person, it's okay. And like, that's true, but, how can there's got to be a point where you start really questioning, like, okay, but what am I? Who am I? And I think those 3 moments are really eye-opening for me. Spit my fingernail out. I gotta put it back in my mouth.
Ew, no, stop. Spit that out. Spit that out right now. Is that all of it?
That's another one.
Any more?
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Disgusting.
He's about to die.
Okay, I'm going. Why don't you could pause it. Why don't you pause it? I have to poop.
She's gotta poop.
Cut that.
Alright, back with 24% on the phone.
Yeah. Alright. Let's see. I thought of another question.
Now I can see the question.
What?
Oh, okay.
Alright. Okay. Why do you think you keep your social circle so small?
Mm-hmm.
And don't give me a bullshit answer.
None of them are.
Sometimes you do.
I think at the end of the day, I'm afraid of making new. Why do I keep it so small? I don't know. I think I really struggle with thinking that I bring any value to a relationship. So I feel like I should just keep people away from me. I'm just gonna start spouting things out. I also don't like the idea of having to dedicate myself to.
Are you uncomfy?
No, I'm good. Dedicating my time to other people. I don't know. Why do you think I keep it small? I don't know, because I don't know, like, people always offer to hang out with me, but I don't lie, I just tell them, like, can't, you know. Why do you think I do that? I don't know. Like, I like the idea of having a lot of friends, but I struggle with really understanding why people want to be friends, and I struggle, like, understanding why people want relationships with other people, knowing that they won't last forever. Just seems like a waste of time to me. What do you think? Because I can't give an honest answer. Because I really don't know. It's a tough one. I mean, I don't want to, I just don't want to I don't want to, like, I guess if I have a friend, I want them to really feel like a friend. Like, I don't want any half friends. Like, if you're gonna, because I have a lot of friends, but, like, if you ask that person, are we friends, they probably would say, I don't know. But if you ask me, we're friends, I'd be like, yeah, we're friends. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I think it's because I don't want to, just like the word, like, love, I don't, like, throw these words around. Like, friends to me is, like acquaintances, but, like, a friend to me is somebody that I would, I guarantee, I know I can make a certain amount of time for them every week. Like, and I don't feel guilty if I don't hang out with them, and I don't feel like I have to. Like, if I ever have a friend where like, for some reason I feel like I have to be with them, like, that's not a friend. Like, to me, that's weird. Like, that's super strange. Like, I want a friend, like, one of my friends, like Charles, like, he's like, I could literally say, hey man, I'm not gonna talk to you for 6 months, and he'd be like, okay. Yeah. But then after 6 months, it's like, I don't want to have to go out of my way to please somebody else. Like, not like it sounds really bad, but, like, I want them to think the same thing about me. Like, I want someone to be self-sufficient.
But, like, you put so much effort into everything, you know, like, that's weird that you don't, like, you aren't willing to do that.
Yeah, and I think
for social relationships, which I mean,
it's strange because, like, my sister, she's on the opposite spectrum where she, I mean, I guess she's not, like, she has a lot of friends, but there's only a few that she really hangs out with. But this few that she really hangs out with, like, she gives them all her attention. Whereas, like, my mom, she would be really, she says she has a lot of friends, and she will actually hang out with, like, pretty much all of them. I'm not the person who will really like, if I have to do something really, really bad, I either will panic and freak out over it, but, like, I won't ever replace going to a concert with one of my friends for, like, a night in, or, like, to get something done. So, like, I want my friend to be like totally, like, okay with that, you know? Like, if someone says, hey man, you want to go to the ball game, I'm like, hey, no, I can't. I don't want them to be like, are you sure? I want them to be like, yeah, fuck you, dude, whatever.
But, like, there's probably a lot of people who are like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm also just, I really struggle with, like, really finding common ground. Like I talk to people a lot, and then usually, like, I guess back to the question too. Usually what they start to say is on the lines of, like, what are you talking about, or like just, like, things that almost, like, make me, like, her dad, for example. We can literally sit together and talk about, like, he's a really good friend. Like, we can talk about just like crazy things, because conversation to me is so important for a friend. Like, I really want to have deep, not like deep conversations, but like I want to have conversations. I don't want to be like hanging out and then we're distracted by whatever, alcohol or a movie or the beach. Like, I would much rather ask you your opinion about, like, I don't know, whatever.
But you have like a lot of potential friends, like people that you talk about all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No, don't say names. But, no, you're right, though.
like people that you talk about all the time and have all these interesting conversations with, and like are just constantly coming up in our conversation, and you just like never.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely, it's a lot of insecurity that I have. And I'm very insecure. I don't think I'm enough. Like, I don't think I'm the friend for somebody. So, like, before we even, like, try to risk that, you know, I pull back. I make sure it doesn't happen. Plus, I think I'm very, like, within the past, like, 5 years, I really try to protect myself. So I don't want to ever set myself up for a situation where I could get hurt.
Yeah.
But like, for the situations where I do open up, I open up 110%. Like,
That's true.
like I can completely get broken. I don't have anybody in my life really that could leave tomorrow and I'd be like, Like, you either leave me and I struggle big time, or we just never friends, because I don't want to put like the power in someone's hand. And if I do put the power in your hand, it's like all in. Like, she has, like, I mean, not that she has the power, but like, I'm as open as I possibly can be with her. As much as I possibly can. Which is like, you know, that's not easy for me. And it's probably not easy for someone watching this. But yeah. I want friends, I just struggle with, like, getting myself to, like, what's next? Like, what's next? Like, what's going on here? Are you gonna be my groom? What's it called? My groom?
Groomsmaid?
Yeah, I don't know.
Groomsman?
Like, if you're not that, then you're nothing.
Groom of honor? Groom...
Man of honor.
No, that's for girls.
No, man of honor is like the one dude.
Groomsmen.
Like the main guy. And then groomsmen are the other people.
Groomsmaids?
No, it's groomsmen.
Is
and
it?
then bridesmaids. Yeah.
Are you sure? Oh, Riley's sleeping. She's so cute. You should think about that one more. You like really don't have a good answer for that.
No.
We should do a YouTube. You should do a YouTube just on that and like figure it out in your YouTube
That's
video.
how the podcast is for, but I gotta get a camcorder.
We should just do one YouTube video
Just
where we
Q&As.
argue about your like answer to that question, because so much of it is like made up stuff.
It's not even made up. It's just...
No, it's not. It's not made up. Like, it's true, but like you take a while to get to the truth. Like, you have to go through things that are like small problems.
Well, I gotta understand
to like get to the big problems. You know.
Yeah, it's like broken glass. The mirror's there. I just gotta manage to put the pieces together.
You like start with like little things like, oh, like I don't know if I can trust people, or like I don't know if like I have enough time for people, and then you get to like insecurities and stuff.
Yeah, it's just friends are weird to me. They're strange. I mean, animals aren't friends.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know if they do though.
Yeah, they do.
No, I think it's either like, if I'm a cheetah and you're a cheetah, I'm gonna kill you and eat you if I have to.
No, that's not true, because like horses always have a donkey friend.
Yeah, but that's like
and,
a human.
like,
That's a domesticated animal.
No. Even like lions. Like lions travel in a pack. Most animals travel in a pack.
That's like a family though.
Yeah, family, friends.
Mm.
But it's not just family. It's also
Maybe
like
that's the issue.
unrelated.
I think that's the issue. Is I have friends, I have family and strangers, and their friends got to be in the middle. But like that middle ground is like I'm not like people have best friends, and then people have friends, and then people like I have best friends that are essentially brothers.
Yeah.
And then I have everybody else. But then that like makes me feel guilty because I don't just have that.
I get that. Alright, next question. Okay. Without the gym, you would be very unhappy. Like, if you if you were told tomorrow that like you could never go to the gym again, like that would be...
I'd be bummed out.
You would be like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know
think
what
I'd
I
play
would
guitar.
do with that.
I think I have guitar potential. Or books, being write books. I think what I would do is I would make up my own language.
That's not the question. Okay, what is it specifically...
Mycotology.
Stop. What is it specifically about working out and the gym that would leave you unfulfilled if you weren't able to do it?
Well, first of all, I would blow up like a bomb, because I think that it takes the edge off in the same way people drink alcohol. I think it takes the edge off. What specifically about the gym? Is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
I think the gym shows me it's a direct correlation of what I can and can't do. And I think for someone like me who can be very reckless, I think I need something that is super grounded, like almost, well, first off, it exhausts me, which I know for me, I gotta be exhausted. If I need to make any rational decisions, I have to be exhausted. Or I'll definitely just make the wrong decision. Not the wrong decision, I'll just make the decision with the most ramifications. Also, I think it's a form of meditation for me. I think, I'm super into like the whole, like, I think just you working out very hard, and feeling yourself breathe and feeling the sweat, I think it takes you into like a completely different meditative world, and I think it allows everything in your body just to fire quicker. I think your brain works better, and I think it allows you to burn that extra energy that would be used for anxiety or negative thoughts. And I think, like, on the days that I don't go to the gym, that's not true. On the days I don't go to the gym, if they were planned, it's fine. But if it wasn't planned, it's not good. And I just think it's part of the routine. I think that it allows me to just think, allows me to work out, allows me to realize that I am capable of failure, because it's right there in front of me. Like, I can't put on, 400 pounds on the bench. A lot of people, if you're a doctor, you think you can do it all until, you can't. And I think knowing that you can't do it, or I think a lot of people are saying, don't use the word can't, don't use the word can't. I think you do need to know what you can't do. And I think knowing what you can't do allows you to become a professional at what you can do. And I think that's something that it really puts you back up against the wall. And it teaches you discipline. You can't put on 350 on the bench without working up to 315. I think it teaches you how to plan ahead. I think it teaches you how to push yourself and see how far you can go until you break down. And also, honestly, at the end of the day, it's like one of those things where it's like, if I put myself through hell for an hour, then everything else that I take on outside of the gym that day, I can take on with just a clearer mind. Like, the same thing that would make me just lose my mind wouldn't make me lose my mind. Like I said, because that little bit of energy is gone, so I'm thinking on a clearer level. Plus, 2 hours ago, I almost died with 400 pounds on my back. And now you're telling me that, something's canceled and we can't go tonight. It's like, it just makes me really appreciate and understand things, and just allows me to teaches me patience. And I know for me, it's the reason why the little social life I do have is because of the gym. And it's really because I think if you're a person who's going to the gym 7 days a week, I recognize you. You recognize me. I see you. You see me. There's a bond there. There's already we at least think close enough to go to the gym 7 days a week. So I think the people that I do know, the people that I do have relationships with, I met through the gym. I've helped get into the gym, or they've taught me something in the gym. and there's a common weird connection with that. It's almost like a brotherhood, but it's not all, this is not what it is, because I think the gym's cool because you can have the bodybuilder, you can have the powerlifter, which is essentially like, a scientist versus a business major. It's like a powerlifter isn't a gym goer. Like, they're a scientist who's really strong. And then, like, you can have cardio people, which are doctors, lawyers. It just brings everybody from every part of the world, and it just puts them on an equal playing field. And I think we all have, like, this mutual respect for each other. In the same way, if I'm, like, a UFC fighter, even if I'm a really bad UFC fighter, at least we all know that, like, hey, man, we all worked our asses off. Like, you are paying money to be in the gym. It's really brought, like, a social aspect to my life. Because I think if I didn't have the gym, I think I would be perfectly fine just being an absolute introvert, like 110%. Is that good?
Yeah.
Is that your question?
No, I have more, but your battery's about to run out.
See you guys in the next one. 10%.
Alright. Last question.
I'm sweating so much.
Okay. Alright. This is like a question that I kind of just want to know, which is, like, as a skinny person, I don't really know what it's like to
First
be
of all,
fat.
she's not skinny. She's
Okay,
very
so
muscular.
as a person who's like never been overweight,
In the shape that you want, she probably has.
trouble with your weight,
That's true.
like, what specifically is it like to be fat? Like if you had to pick a pivotal moment that you felt like really explained, like, what it's like to wake up every day and be overweight and, like, unhappy with your body, like, what would it be?
I can tell you a good answer, because right now I don't feel fat at all. But 6 months ago I felt really fat. It just takes extra energy. It takes your car is running at a higher speed when you're overweight. Like, there's just extra concern about everything. Like, there's extra concern about wearing one shirt because you're gonna get sweaty. There's like extra concern about where you're gonna go out in public. There's extra concern, like summertime, is there gonna be a pool? I gotta make up a reason not to go in the pool. I'm gonna wear a shirt, but I gotta say it's because of a rash. There's just extra energy that it takes, like, to do anything, like to go out in public, to go to the mall. Like, when you're fat, if you see someone in the mall, that's fine if you're in shape, but like if you're fat, it's not. It just takes more. I think when you're fat, you also when you're in shape or when you're skinny. Because honestly, I think when you're skinny, it's the same exact thing as when you're fat. I really do. I think the people who are fat and feel fat feel just as embarrassed as skinny people who feel skinny. Like, skinny people, not like relatively in shape, but like skinny people. Because skinny people don't look good in clothing. Fat people, you can say what you want to me, don't look good in clothing. Clothing doesn't look good on them. I think you also just feel, from like a very primitive and evolutional standpoint, you feel less of a human. I mean, when you're in shape, you feel more of a human. You feel more confident. Not that you don't feel confident as you're overweight, you just don't know how confident you can feel. I had a woman compliment me on my posture. It's like, you stand more straight up. And it's like, you just do things without thinking about it. Like, you just feel more confident. When you have a conversation with somebody, you look in the eye longer because you're not worried about their eyes going down to your stomach. You put yourself out there more. And especially if you're overweight and then you lose weight, you don't feel like a liar anymore. like because you have work to show. But when you're fat, you feel like a liar with everything you do because you know you shouldn't be at that weight. I think that's my biggest issue with the world that we live in right now, where we like okay fat people. We almost okay you being overweight, which would be the equivalent of me saying you're depressed, let's not work on it. Like, it doesn't make sense, because if you're obese, there's not just from the evolutional standpoint, which is you are holding us back as a society, but there's also it's basically suicide. You're going to die because of your weight. And I think all overweight people know that. And I think all overweight people, and I say all of them, want to not be overweight. And I think it's just like it's the same way that once they aren't overweight, they thank you for it. Like, I've worked with so many people. I've helped tens, and I've probably worked with over 50 people that have lost 50 plus pounds, and 100 people that have probably lost 10 plus pounds. And I cannot tell you one time where I helped someone lose weight and they said, hey man, They always say thank you. It's a fucking joke that we think that people don't want to lose weight. And it's because when you wake up first thing in the morning, instead of I'm going to go about my day, it's what outfit can I wear that's going to hide this excess body weight. And I think that's the biggest difference, is you don't feel seen. And then you start saying it's because you're an introvert. You start saying it's because I'm just not an outgoing person. But it's complete bullshit. You just don't want to be seen because you're embarrassed with the weight that you have, because you don't have self-control. You don't have the ability to say no. And you do everything for other people because you do nothing for yourself. And I think you really start, and then people say, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. And then you are depressed and you're suicidal. Why? Because you've done nothing for yourself. You don't take care of the car that you've been given. Your car is on the side of the highway. It's out of gas. People are just driving by, getting by you. Meanwhile, you know that's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong to be overweight. And I say that because your children want you to see their children, and you won't. That's selfish. That's selfish. And I think that, and remember guys, you can say I'm speaking for others, but I'm speaking for myself. That's true for me. At this weight, I can take my shirt off and just hang out with anybody. It's not about having a shirt off. It's about knowing that I don't have to put that extra energy. And that extra energy I would have had to make up some bullshit excuse why I can't take my shirt off, I can now lay down and read a book. I have a conversation with people that I know. You know, and that's my biggest issue with like this whole fat shaming. Like, don't fat shame. I understand. There's a fine line between bullying people and lying to people. Because most of the time it's just lying. Now, if you're laughing and pointing at somebody, it's completely different. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, I know you're not happy when you wake up and the first thing you do is your stomach is hurting because you got to take a shit, but you can't because you're constipated, because you didn't eat enough fiber, you didn't drink enough water, you just have soda and pizza in your stomach, so then you just feel like absolute shit. It's hard. And I think the act of losing weight is the beginning of you having control of your fucking life. And we're all on this fucking weird rock spinning around the sun, doing what? We're all trying to find a way to control our life. And it starts with your car. Like, it starts with your body. Like, what do you put into your body? Do you put food or do you put chemicals? Like really, you gotta think about that shit. Why are you overweight? What are you running from? It's not about the fucking fat. What are you not confronting? Like, what is it? There's something there. And I think that's the main thing, is that you're living a lie. But you can't tell people that. You can't tell the fat people that because they're just gonna be fat with you. But you can't tell in shape people that because there's a stereotype that in shape people hate fat people. It's like, no, we don't. I don't. I don't. It's not that. It's that we love you so much that I'm not going to listen to you lie to me. So my buddy who was 300 pounds, who just weighed in at 288 after 3 weeks of dining with me, that 288, man, you would have thought his wife was pregnant. That's how happy he was. And the battery's dead. I hate when the battery dies, man.
So,
That's it.
that's all our questions.
All the questions. If you guys want to see one of these again, we can do these a few times. If you guys have questions that you want answered, put them down below. I do have that podcast series, Mike's Mind Ride, which I might title this one as, I'm not sure. But that is something I do want to get back on. I just want to get a nice camcorder so we can do an hour without having to break. If you guys want more questions, put them in the comments. DM me. Also, if you want me to ask her questions, that'd be cool too. And any questions that you guys have, like I said, I would love to answer. So, see you guys in the next